Analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome into the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. On this Friday night, beautiful night back in the home state of South Carolina. We, of course, are coming to you from across the border over in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, here for the Clemson, North Carolina football game tomorrow night at Kenan Stadium, or tomorrow afternoon at Kenan Stadium. But back in the state of South Carolina, region play continues all across the state as we're now counting down those games toward the playoffs in South Carolina beginning in November. David Shelton will be joining us here in a little bit with his analysis. He was at the Berkeley and Stratford game tonight, and in that one, we already have a final score in on that one. So David should be joining us before too long here on the program tonight. Berkeley beat Stratford 17-7, so very nice win for the Stags in this rivalry game and also region game down in the Low Country tonight. Berkeley over Stratford 17-7. Also in the Low Country tonight, Somerville went big over Stall 57-6. Oceanside Collegiate rolled it up on Hanahan 49-8. West Ashley beat James Island 28-7. And Cane Bay was a 46-10 winner over Lucy Beckham. Final scores from the Low Country. Couple of finals in from the Upstate. Abbeville shut out McCormick 56-0, and Belton Honeypath shut out West Oak 63-0. Meantime, we're looking at one of the big games of the night. Loris and Dillon over at Dillon. Billy Baker from the High School Sports Report is there, and he'll be joining us with a hot call here momentarily. I would imagine they've got a really tight ball game, and I believe Loris leading 23-22, but the Lions just had to punt, if I'm reading these text messages correctly. So it appears it will be Dillon's ball here coming up shortly. And 50 seconds left. Dillon first and 10 at their own 26. And again, I believe it's a 23-22 Loris lead over Dillon. Dillon without any timeouts as well. So, yes, Loris was leading 23-22 with 1:52 left. And then Loris stopped Dillon on downs. And then Loris had to punt. And they've had 3 mishandled snaps on punts. So they were holding their breath. The Lions were, but they got that punt away. So Dillon's got the ball, needing a field goal. Don't know what their kicking situation looks like, but they're down a point with inside of a minute. So as soon as that game is over, I'm sure Billy from the High School Sports Report will be joining us to give us the details live from the field in Dillon. Meantime, in the football city, I-77 corridor, first final is in. Chester over Eau Claire, 41-8. Round the Midlands, AC Flora, 56, Lancaster 10, Central 56, Buford 10, Louisville 67, C.A. Johnson 16, Dutch Fork 50, Chapin, nothing. Not a whole lot of competition to speak of in those particular games around the Midlands tonight. CSRA, nothing in final yet, nor the PD Grand Strand. Gave you the Low Country. Skis a final, Northwood Academy, 49, Cardinal Newman, nothing. Now we'll give you some scores in progress. Well, we got some more finals, too, as scoreboards are being updated. These scores are from our affiliate, WRHI, over in the Rock Hill area. Rock Hill beat Fort Mill 23-16. Northwestern has beaten Clover 52-24. South Point downs Camden 28-7. In the fourth quarter, Indian Land leads Nation Ford 34-26.
Hey, Phil, we got a hot call from Billy Baker.
Well, let's go to it. Hot call with Billy Baker from the High School Sports Report. On the scene, on the field at Dillon High School tonight. Billy, how'd it turn out?
Well, it's got 30 seconds left. Loris leads 23-22. And Dillon is throwing a ball way in the air. It's going to go out of bounds. This has been a heck of a ball game. The difference in the game, Khalil Sherman picks up, really steals the ball out of Dillon runner's hand and goes 85 yards in the other direction with about 8 minutes to go in the game. And they made the PAT, and that's how Loris is leading this game 23-22. And will likely be the front runner for the region championship. They still have to play Marlboro County. We have 24 seconds left. In all honesty, the Dillon quarterback took 2 sacks in a row, and he'll learn not to do that. It's a long pass, and it could be intercepted. Yes, this game is over. Number 1 from Loris intercepts the ball with 17 seconds to go. From Dillon High School tonight, Loris has come in here for the second year in a row, has beat Dillon by 1 point, and this game was physical for the whole game. I'll be back with Coach Greg Mance of Loris High School. They'll be going 6-0. There's 17 seconds left, but neither team has any timeouts left. This was a very physical game tonight. From Dillon, Loris wins 23-22.
All right. Thank you, Billy. Great job as always. Billy has great play-by-play abilities. There's no question about that. He just tells you what's happening on the field. And so they had Dillon has a freshman quarterback who's supposedly really good. But as Billy said, he's got to learn to throw the ball away and not take those sacks. That hurt Dillon. What a win for Loris. And 2 years in a row, they've beaten the Wildcats. So the Lions take control in that classification. So great win. You don't go into Dillon very often as a visitor and come away with a dub. And that's what Loris did, 23-22. Meantime, the other big game tonight in Dillon County, at least we thought it was going to be a real tight, hard-hitting, close football game, turned out not to be the case. Last update we had, it was all Carvers Bay over Latta, 32-0. I'm not sure if that was in the third or fourth quarter, probably fourth quarter. So Carvers Bay, the Bears, they are cruising over the Vikings, going to hand Latta first loss of the season, and Carvers Bay is going to remain undefeated with that win tonight. All right, back to other finals. Did I give you South Point over Camden, 28-7? I think I did. Let's see what else we've got in here new or in progress for that matter. We can give you some in progress games as well. So in the fourth quarter, Indian Land 34, Nation Ford 26. In the third quarter, Andrew Jackson 34, Sherraw 17. Fourth quarter, North Central 8, Chesterfield 7. Central beat Buford 56-10. Lee Central 32, Great Falls 22. In the fourth, Gaffney 40, Eastside 29. In the fourth, Dorman 27, Boiling Springs nothing. In the fourth, Burns 42, Riverside 14. In the third, Spartanburg 52, Wade Hampton nothing. In the fourth, T.L. Hanna 32, Hillcrest 13. In the third, Greenwood 20, Malden 10. In the fourth, Irmo 35, Lexington nothing. In the fourth, Lugoff Elgin 35, Blythewood 28. A final, Ridgeview 44, Spring Valley nothing. A final, Sumter 35, West Florence 7. In the fourth, Ashley Ridge 44, Fort Dorchester 14. In the fourth, Westside 34, Southside nothing. A final, Daniel 56, Berea nothing. A final, South Florence 57, Darlington 6. A final, Hartsville 55, Lower Richland 22. In the fourth, Newberry 22, Silver Bluff 19. And that is what we have, courtesy of WRHI. And waiting to hear back from Billy Baker. So when we hear back from Billy Baker, Plummer let me know, because he says we got to go quickly to get Coach Mance on the show to get him out of Dillon and back on the bus and back on the way to Loris. Checking some other scores. Let's see if we have any other scores to check. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Got some other scores for you. In the fourth quarter, these scores courtesy of WSPA TV 7 in Spartanburg. Chesney 41, Blacksburg 19. That's fourth quarter. In the third, Palmetto 31, Carolina nothing. A final, Dixie 44 and CFC 22. Who is CFC? I have to figure out who CFC is. But Dixie wins 44-22. If you know who CFC is, shoot us a text at 803-900-4847. It's not coming to me who CFC is. Crescent beat Walhalla 67-20. In the fourth, Dorman 34-0 over Boiling Springs. Fourth quarter, Gaffney 40, Eastside 29. In the third, Greer 53, Pickens 14. Final, Woodmont 45, J.O. Mann 13. In the fourth quarter, Pelion 35 and 96-28. Third quarter, Powdersville 17 and Southside Central. Was it Southside? No, Southside Christian. I think it's Southside Christian. Powdersville 17, SCS nothing. I believe that's Southside Christian. In the fourth quarter, Pendleton 38, Travelers Rest 20. Final, Ware Shoals 42, Whitmire 14. In the fourth, Emerald 44, Wren 38. How about that win for Emerald? Coming the week after Wren took it to Woodruff last week. So Emerald wins at 44-38. At the half, Westside was leading Southside 34-0. Third quarter, Spartanburg 52, Wade Hampton nothing. Final, Seneca 47, Blue Ridge 13, 47-13, Seneca over Blue Ridge. Fourth quarter, Burns 42, Riverside 26. In the final, Greenwood 33, Malden 10. Greenwood over Malden, 33-10. In the third quarter, Mountain View Prep 55, Union County 14. Another final, TL Hanna 32, Hillcrest 13. In the third quarter, Fountain Inn 26, Lawrence 7. Fourth quarter, Greenville 28, Easley 16. Daniel beat Berea 56-0. Clinton over Liberty 49-6. Christ Church beat St. Joseph's 39-34. Woodruff over Broome 49-14. And BHP over West Oak, as we mentioned, 63-0. Okay, let's go ahead and hit our opening break of the night. Wait for Billy Baker to get to us. Plummer, let me know when you got Billy on the line, because he's going to have a hot call with a hot coach. Coach coming off a heck of a win. And we got other reporters standing by to give us the stories on their games tonight around the state of South Carolina. Looking forward to hearing from them. And do have another final here. Fox Creek, Orangeburg-Wilkinson. OW wins over Fox Creek 21-13. Back in a moment.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
You work hard for your money. Shouldn't your money work hard for you too? Think about all the hours you've put in, the late nights, the early mornings, the dedication to your craft. Now imagine those dollars doing some of the heavy lifting for a change, growing quietly in the background while you focus on what matters most. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, a new home, or just building a cushion for peace of mind, putting your money to work is one of the smartest moves you can make. Open a certificate at Founders Federal Credit Union and earn more with your savings. For a limited time only, Founders is offering 18-month certificates at 4.32% annual percentage yield and 18-month IRA certificates at 4.58% annual percentage yield. To get started, visit foundersfcu.com/dividend rates or one of our many convenient office locations. All you need is $500 to get started, but don't delay. These rates won't last. Open your certificate today. Your future self will thank you for opening a certificate at Founders. Federally insured by the NCUA. Membership qualification required. $500 minimum balance. 18-month term. Dividends compound quarterly. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
All right, welcome back to the High School Football Scoreboard. On this Friday night, Full Cornblute in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We have the plumber Josh Cohen back at our studios in Columbia, and we're getting our callers lined up from across the state to bring you reports. A few more finals. Saluda 48, American Leadership nothing, Dutch Fork 50, Chapin nothing, Chester 41, Eau Claire 8, Gray Collegiate 56, Brooklyn Casey nothing, Hammond 37, Lawrence Manning 8, North Central 8, Chesterfield 7, South Point beat Camden 28-7, Hunter Conner Tyler win Interstate on Wagner Sally 76-0, and Belton Honeypath similarly over West Oak 63-0. Okay, appreciate the folks who've called in already to get the reports rolling. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell, Woodruff and Broome. And big bounce-back win tonight for the Wolverines. I think playing without their star running back. He told me earlier in the week he had a hamstring, was going to sit this one out, Garrett.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Phil. And I tell you what a great get-right game for the Wolverines. What a lot of people don't know or understand yet about Woodruff is that we have about 2 or 3 more really talented running backs outside of Aiden Gibson. And tonight you saw Jalen Lyles, a fellow junior. He came in. Woodruff was very pass-heavy tonight, but Jalen Lyles was still right at 100 yards rushing. But Woodruff jumped out of the gate early. The passing game was working. Quarterback Connor Davis was 15 of 20 in the first half for 215 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 of those coming to Liberty tight end commit Cam Taylor. So it was just a good night to get the offense rolling. Broome did not score outside of their first drive of the second quarter. So just a great all-around win for Woodruff. They get a bye week off, and then Mountain View Prep comes calling in 2 weeks to Varner Stadium.
Yep, that's what Gibson had told me. He was going to sit out this game, then they had an off week, and he'd be ready to go when MVP comes in. And that's going to be the big one for the region, don't you think?
Absolutely. That game is really unequivocally for the region championship, and that's to take nothing away from the other teams in the region. But Woodruff and Mountain View are just head and shoulders, I think, better than everybody else. So it's going to be a big one. Expect a massive, massive crowd at Varner Stadium. Last year's game came down to the final seconds, 40-38. Honestly, it could happen again, and I would expect it.
Yeah. We had a text message on Sports Talk wanting us to mention, once you called in, that let's see here, where'd it go? Let's see, one of Woodruff's biggest fans passed away early Saturday morning. When Garrett calls in his report, he may refer to him. He was able to be at the Woodruff at Wren game the evening before, and I talked with him. Tell the folks to remember the family of Ron Ballard in their prayers. I hope the Wolverines can make a deep run in the playoffs for Ron. This is from Roger in Woodruff.
Phil,
do you know this gentleman?
Phil, let me tell you, Ron Ballard was one of my dearest friends, and I've known him since I was 10 years old, and then I had the pleasure. Ron was a supervisor for the Spartanburg County Parks and Recreation Department, which is my employer, and I had the privilege of Ron being my boss for 6.5 years, and he and I would sit in his office every Friday morning, really longer than we should, to talk about each game, and he loved his Wolverines dearly, and it was tough. It was tough saying goodbye to Ron, but it's like I told his family. I said, look, he'll never miss another game. He's got the best seat in the house. So tonight, Ron, this one was for you. We love you. I love you. Everybody in Woodruff loves you.
Fantastic, Garrett. Thank you very much. Sorry for the loss to all of the Woodruff people and his family and the Woodruff family up there. Thank you, as always, for the report. We'll talk to you next week.
Well, Phil, very quickly, I've got something for you. CFC is Calhoun Falls Charter.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know all these abbreviations. Calhoun Falls Charter. I got it. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Phil. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Let's see here. We've got some scores coming in text message-wise. Gaffney over Eastside, 40-35. Thank you. Now we've got a final of Wren over Emerald, 45-44. I had seen something else, but now we're getting that. So thank you. Somebody did text us to tell us it's Calhoun Falls Charter. Thank you for that. Strom Thurman.
Hey, Phil, we got Billy Baker on the line.
Oh, well, we got about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Go
Hello?
to Billy. Go, Billy, go.
Phil, we're in Dillon, and Coach Mance is kind of in a hurry to leave, but he's also excited. For the second year in a row, the Loris Lions have beat their arch rival in the region, 23-22. All I can tell you is this. Dillon is about at the 15-yard line, looking like they may score, when the Loris College Sherman. K-H-A-L-I-D, Sherman. College Sherman ripped the ball from the Dillon ball carrier, no fumble, ripped it before he went to the ground. He turns and goes 85 yards for the touchdown. And, my friends, that's the difference in this game tonight, 23-22 Loris. Greg Mance is the coach at Loris, and I'll tell you this, most of his defense, his top 2 tacklers are freshmen and sophomores. One had 40 tackles in the game tonight, and the sophomore had like 36, and they are men among boys. Loris has a stout defense. I think they'll be good for the next several years. But here's Coach Mance standing at the 50-yard line in Dillon, and here he is, very hard-fought win tonight. Here's Coach Mance from Loris.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it. We didn't play well the second half. Defense gave up 1 first down. Offense, we had 2 bad snaps on punt. And so we're glad to get out here with a 1-point victory.
Well, you know what it's like to beat Dillon. I mean, you've done it back-to-back years now. Not many people can claim that.
Well, no, sir, it's a hard task. I mean, you're talking about a team with tradition. They pride themselves on winning over here. And, they don't lose many football games here in Dillon, especially between the walls. And they got a good football team. I think they've lost on the last play of the game twice this year, and then we end up beating them by 1 point tonight. But they got a good football team. Quarterback's outstanding. They're good up front. The running backs are solid. They can throw it. They got the best receiver in the state.
Hold that thought. We have got to go to a hard break, and if you'll hang on, or we'll call you back in 5 minutes. I want to talk to you a little bit more if y'all want to mosey on out. We'll be right back.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Do you dance badly or hug in public? That's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
The shutdown, another Senate vote to advance a Republican bill that would reopen the government failed on a 54-44 tally. That's 60 short, needed to fill the filibuster. This is SRN News.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on...
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
Baseball and body slams collide at home plate. Palmetto Championship Wrestling invades Lexington County Baseball Stadium. It's the Grand Slam at the Lex. See reigning PCW heavyweight champion No Quit Jake Parker defend his title. Plus the Dawson brothers in a tag team chaos. Friday, October 17th. Gates open 6 p.m. Bell time 7:05 p.m. Tickets on sale now at GoBlowfish.com.
You don't normally call a plumber until you need a plumber. Well, if you need one today or if you need one tomorrow, I want you to remember Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Listen, I might not know all the tricks to turning a wrench, but I do know how a plumbing company should work and how to treat people. My dad was a plumber, my grandfather was a plumber, and so were 3 of my uncles. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning does it right. They are the epitome of customer service. They're locally owned and operated, and Josh and his team, well, they put customer service as the top priority for Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. I've never known a business owner more intent on making it a great experience for people. And let's face it, when you have a plumbing crisis, well, that could be traumatic. They specialize in service and replacement issues for your home or for your business. They've been to my home and fixed 3 different plumbing issues I had in the house. If you need them, they're there to help. Online at franklinplumbing.sc.com or call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning 799-20 799-2222. That's 799-2222. And tell them Kev sent you from The Point.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American-made for life.
Are you getting baby chicks this season?
We are back on the high school football scoreboard on this Friday night. Good to have you with us. Right back to the hotline phone call from Coach Greg Mance, Loris, as they want to get out of Dillon. Coach, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Listen, I'm a Latta boy. I'm from Latta, so I know what it means to want to get out of Dillon in a hurry. Okay. Know what it means.
Pretty good football program.
Yeah. Dillon, though, going in there. So, tell us about that play, the winning play that Billy described. How did you see it from your sideline?
Oh, just like Billy described it. I mean, we snapped the daggone ball over the punter's head. He tries to kick it through the end zone for safety. He misses it. They fall on the ball, 10-yard line? 1 yard line. And so we're like, oh, my gosh, here we go. We're going to start second half like this. Well, next thing you know, we sack them. We hit the ball carrier for loss, and the next thing you know, they run it, and we pull the ball loose and ran it back, I think, 85 yards for a touchdown. So, that turned the tide of the game. The first half, we went back and forth. I don't think either team punted in the first half.
16 and a half.
16 and a half. But you got to give our kids credit, man. Those Lions that came, they battled, they competed. We gave up one first down second half to a very good Dillon team. We're just very blessed to get out here with the victory.
No question about it. Last year, you played for the Lower State Final. Looking at this team, you still have work to do, but does this team have the makings of one that can take that next step?
Yes, sir. We think so. We think we got a chance to be extremely good. We got, we got size up front. Got 4 kids with offers. Damari Thurman, 74, played huge tonight. Jamaris Wilson, another defensive tackle. They were both All-State last year in 3A. Quarterback was honorable mention All-State athlete. And then our wide receiver, Jacobian Lewis, has 6 offers. He's a dude on both sides. We put him on the Robertson kid from Dillon, the UNC commit. And, we kind of double covered him, gave him help inside or over top. And, we were able to take 0 out of the game a little bit.
That's a great win for you. Who do you have coming up next week?
We play Waccamaw. I think they're 5-1, and we got them at home. And so we played 4 games on the road out of our 6. So we're looking forward to going back to Hennepin Field.
I bet you are. I think Waccamaw got a win tonight over Georgetown as I was scanning the scores. So thank you so much. Congratulations. Tell Billy thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir, buddy. Nice talking with you.
You too. All right, Coach Greg Mance from Loris Lions going in, and what a job, man, stopping the team at the 1 yard line, stealing the football, taking it back for a touchdown, then shutting them out from there. Allowed one first down in the second half. That is some great defense. All right, let's go back to the phones, and then we'll update some more scores for you. Travis Jenkins joining us tonight with a story on the Chester game, and we had Chester and Eau Claire, and it was all the Cyclones tonight. Travis, thank you for joining us. 41-8.
Yeah, Chester got exactly what they needed to get tonight, which was a win quickly and without anybody getting hurt, because essentially the region championship game is next week. Not to discount anybody else in the region, but Chester and Fairfield certainly feels like it's going to be that. So, Chester wanted to kind of get this one done early. We were done at 9:20, which is probably the earliest I've ever finished a high school football game. They pull an onside kick on the opening kickoff, recover, score 2 plays later. Eau Claire goes 3 and out. Bad punt snap. Chester recovers at Eau Claire's 25, scores a few plays later. They force a fumble 2 plays later, start a drive at the 4, score in 1 play. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the Chester's offensive numbers, if I added them up, they wouldn't be that impressive because they started 1 drive at the Eau Claire 25, 1 at their 33, 1 at their 4, 1 at their 48. It was just a lot of really quick drives. Defense played terrific. I think going into the last drive of the first half, by which time Chester was subbing pretty liberally and letting a lot of their younger kids play, Eau Claire had 5 yards of offense. Terry Radford proved why he was a Shrine Bowl pick. He lived in Eau Claire's backfield. Same for Luke Harris. Darion Baxley, who I was kind of surprised didn't make one of the All-Star games, had a strip sack fumble that he returned 40 yards for a defensive touchdown for Chester. Jacoby Wright Starks, who they had started at quarterback 3 weeks ago, and Chester's 3-0 since then. He and Cockrell were splitting snaps. He had a 52-yard touchdown and run first play of the second quarter. And the third and fourth quarters were both 8 minutes long, and the clock was running. So the second half took 16 minutes.
No wonder you got to us so early. You're usually a second-hour guy.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously this is big for Chester because they play Fairfield Central next week. You certainly feel like that's if not outright for the region championship, it's certainly the winner that'll have the inside track. So, like Caleb Feaster and Hadaitha Taylor, Chester's 2 primary running backs, both of whom are on pace for 1,000+ yards this year. They had 5 carries tonight. They really weren't needed because Chester got up. It was 21-0 less than 5 minutes into the game. So Victor Ford was able to cycle in a lot of his backups, keep everybody fresh, and they'll be ready to go next week, which was his main objective.
And give us a little bit of a preview at this game, Fairfield Central, Chester. You know both of these teams, both of these programs very well. What about the matchup?
Well, Chester's going to come in on a 3-game winning streak. I think people kind of overlooked them a little when they started 1-3 and not realizing that those 4 games were against 3 5A teams and a 4A team. Mm-hmm. So they played a very difficult early schedule, but now they've rolled off big wins over Union, Keenan, and then Eau Claire tonight in the region opener. Fairfield Central, obviously a top 5 team in 2A, and I think one of the early favorites probably in 2A. I saw them against Louisville. They didn't have their best night that night. Louisville really pushed them, but then they came back the next week, almost knocked off a really good 3A Newberry team, and I think got a big win last week. So this is first of all, Chester and Fairfield is a huge rivalry. It's 2 communities that genuinely really don't like each other very much, and it carries over to the football field. And the winner of that game has pretty much been your region champ for as long as those 2 have been in a region together, and Chester has gotten good again. So I don't expect it to be any different next week. Whoever wins that's probably going to win the region and have a number 1 playoff seed and be at home for a while.
I'm interested now, since you took this beyond the football programs in the schools. Why do the 2 communities not like each other? Did somebody steal something from somebody?
Yeah, I don't know. They just they're close to one another. They've just for a long time, Fairfield really owned Chester. I think I don't remember what it was at one point, Phil, but it was that Fairfield Central led the all-time series at one point, something like 15-2.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't. It was like people say, it was very much a rivalry, like a hammer versus a nail is a rivalry. It just wasn't a very competitive series. In the last 15 or so years, since Chester's program has kind of stepped up and been a contender on an annual basis, and more of those games have gone Chester's way, it's become a much more intense rivalry. So it'll be packed out. It always is when they play in anything, and it should be a great game next week. That's two teams that are going to come in playing really well.
Well, we look forward to hearing from you next week. That should be one of the big games in the state, so look forward to your report.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Travis. Fantastic stuff. We appreciate it. There you go, Travis Jenkins' story on the Chester win, but more importantly, it's about next week with those guys, Chester and Fairfield Central. Let's go to Matt Smith on the call tonight once again. Socastee going over to Carolina Forest, taking on the Panthers. Smitty, welcome in. What you got?
Well, it was 45-12 Carolina Forest tonight. All Carolina Forest from the outset. Panthers quarterback Cam Long, 3 touchdown passes. Running back Jaron Fox over 200 yards rushing. Now, Socastee did a little damage in the second half. Hayes Hardwick caught 7 passes. Their wide receiver, 7 passes for better than 100 yards. And Socastee kind of put some yardage up in the second half, but Carolina Forest was already packing it in. They obviously the defending region champions, probably the favorites, according to everyone in this area, to win Region 7 again. They've got St. James next week, and Socastee will get North Myrtle Beach back at home, back at Socastee. Now, of course, Socastee falls to 1-5, but just as my friend Travis Jenkins was just saying about the way Chester started, one thing about what the Braves have been up against this year is it's just been state championship contender after another. The 5 losses are to Wando and Stratford, Dillon, Loris, and tonight Carolina Forest. I mean, nobody would be very surprised to see any one of those teams playing late into November. So it's been a really difficult gauntlet for Socastee to open up. They look pretty healthy, although they did lose their running back, London Wilder, tonight. Looked like to injury in the second quarter, and we don't know when he'll be back. We'll find out during the week. But so another tough loss for Socastee, but it looks like a game kind of more in their weight class against North Myrtle next week.
All right, Smitty. Thank you, sir. Have yourself a great weekend. Matt Smith, story of the Socastee loss tonight. Carolina Forest, always a good team. And socked it to Socastee. Hate to steal that from an old sportscaster, but it's still applicable to this day. After the break, we'll come back and update some more scores. David Shelton should be joining us here in just a little bit, and we'll get more reports in from our guys across the state. Let's give you some more upstate finals, courtesy of Channel 7. Abbeville 56-0 over McCormick. Chesney 48-19 over Blacksburg. Palmetto 28-0 over Carolina. Dixie 44, Calhoun Falls 22. Crescent 67, Walhalla 20. Dorman 34, Boiling Springs nothing. And Gaffney 45, Eastside 35, 35. Be right back.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit to foundersfcu.com to get you started. Relax, you've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at sccattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Welcome back, everybody, to the high school football scoreboard. Phil Kornblut and the plumber, Josh Cohen. A lot of scores have come in. A lot of folks waiting to give us details on their games. Let's go to Monty Dutton. Clinton tonight, not too much trouble. Didn't work up all that much of a sweat, I don't think. A win over Liberty tonight. Monty, welcome in.
Hello, Phil. Tonight, Javen Cook of Clinton scored 4 touchdowns on runs of 20, 41, 5, and 32. Clinton's 4 leading rushers all averaged at least 13.2 yards a carry. Cook had 132 yards and 10 carries. Angela Cromer, 5 for 121. Clinton ran up 509 yards of offense, 435 yards on the ground, and averaged 14.5 yards a carry with the rush for the night. Several facts. Clinton, by the way, is now 4-3. I think I noticed they played a schedule pre-region that was completely consisting of 3A and 4A schools. But the Red Devils have only fumbled once in the entire season, and they rolled up tonight. Owen Glenn, the quarterback, was 4 of 6 for 74 and had a rushing touchdown. And the Red Devils now, they've won their 15th straight region game dating back to the 3A time. And they probably the region championship game would be Clinton at Chesney next Friday night. But the Red Devils' tough early season schedule is paying dividends, and the Red Devils seem to be rounding into shape and justifying the fact that they are the only 2A team in the rankings that came into the night with just a 3-3 record. But that's I think people have a hefty regard for the job that Corey Fountain does, and it's a very impressive performance for the Red Devils. I see this is sort of amazing. Clinton scored 49 points, averaged 14.5 a carry. They had the ball for 14 minutes and 59 seconds the whole game. Liberty 33-01, but Liberty averaged 3+ yards a play, and Clinton averaged 14.1 a play, 14.5 on the ground. So the Red Devils are doing really well, and I've told you before, Javen Cook is nicknamed Zoom. He runs a 4.40, and he's a very small but remarkably strong for his size, and he looks like a water bug cutting in the second level against opposition. So big night for the Red Devils. Probably it was homecoming, and my estimate is that it was the largest crowd of the season to date. And I'd say there's about 4,200 at Wilder Stadium tonight.
Fantastic. And, boy, they chewed it up on the ground, and that will be that's their secret sauce. Well, not really a secret, but that's their sauce, right? They're doing that. They're going to be hard to beat.
Well, they're extraordinarily prolific. I've been saying for 3 or 4 years now, Clinton's biggest weakness is that they have too many penalties, but it really just looks like it ticks them off. I thought that I'd like to go over and look at video and see how many points they'd score without touchdowns that were called back. But the fact is, a lot of them they score on the same drive anyway.
Monty, we thank you. Have a great weekend. Sure you'll be over at Furman tomorrow. Enjoy that, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thank you, Monty. All right, let's welcome in David Shelton now for his first appearance tonight. Here on the high school scoreboard, America has been demanding his return to the air tonight, and here he is. Welcome, David.
Hey, finally got in. I've been trying to call for the last 30 minutes, but I did get in. Josh got me. Well, we're good to go.
Good. Tell us about your game. You got rivalry game in the Low Country tonight, and long-standing rivalry, and it goes to the Stags this time around.
No, it goes to the Knights.
It goes to the Knights this time around.
Stratford won 21-17. Now, for the first half, it went to the Stags. They led 17-0 at the half. They looked in complete control of the game, but the second half was totally different. They were killed by field position. They started several drives deep in their own territory and had to – I know they punted out of the end zone twice, but maybe 3 times. And Stratford got some momentum. Running back Malik McGowan, who somehow did not make one of the 2 All-Star games, really kind of put the Knights on his shoulders in the second half. And Stratford scored 21 unanswered points. And Berkeley Berkeley had 2 big plays called back from penalties. One was a kickoff return. The other one was a long pass. Berkeley left some points out there. But credit Stratford, man, second half, they took advantage of the field position, and they were pretty dominant. McGowan went over 100 yards, had several key runs, and now they're, the Knights are 5-1, and I don't see them losing again in the regular season unless they just don't show up to play.
How big was your crowd?
It was not as big as I thought it would be. It was not a sellout, but it was a good crowd. It wasn't a great crowd. With teams that have games on the radio or streaming it on YouTube or whatever, attendance down here is not that great for high school football. It's okay. But it ain't what it was back in the 90s when there was no way to know what the game was unless you were at the game. Then everybody showed up.
All right, let's go back to the phones. David, hang in there. We've got some things for you to talk about coming up. Let's go to Kevin Selman, voice of T.L. Hanna. Yellow Jackets come away with a win tonight. They go on the road over to Simpsonville, take on Hillcrest. Nice, solid victory, 32-13 tonight. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Phil. How you doing? Glad to be on tonight. Yeah, a good win for the Jackets tonight. Jumped out on Hillcrest early, 13-0 in the first half, and really just cruised to a victory tonight. What I expected to be a lot tougher game. The winner of this game, the last 5 years, has won Region 1 5A. So bit of a shock that it wasn't any closer than that tonight. But as always, the Jackets had a big night on the ground, rushing for 347 yards on 50 carries. That's a 7 yards per carry average. A couple of standouts, Gavin Megan, the quarterback for the Jackets. I know this is always your favorite stat, 2 of 4 for 48 yards. We really threw the ball all over the field tonight. So, but all in all, a good night for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, like we talked about Clinton, if they run the ball for that amount, they're going to be a tough out. What was that total once again on the rushing yardage?
50 carries for 347 yards.
Wow. And they spread that around a pretty good bit, right? Several different guys touched the football?
Absolutely. Brock Cole had 12 carries for 130 yards and a touchdown. He also had 1 reception for 32 yards and a touchdown. Galloway, 15 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. And Amari Nance had 8 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown. Amari Nance made the North-South game. And our tight end, Walker Kelly, who's also plays linebacker and is committed to Whopper, he made the Shrine Bowl. So I'd like to give those guys a shout-out for their accomplishments.
Absolutely. You're going to make it up to Chapel Hill?
I will not. My daughter, who cheers for T.O. Hanna, has a cheer competition tomorrow, so I'll be down in Honeypath tomorrow for the BHP Cheer Classic, but I'll be home in time for kickoff.
Daddy duties, love it. You got to do daddy duties.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
Appreciate you, Phil, and congratulations to you Yankees.
Oh, you're right. Was there a game last night?
I brought that up. I mean, I was trying to be kind to you, and here you are trying to pile on now.
Well, I was going to let it go because I'm trying to focus on high school football. But since you mentioned it,
That's
the
right.
Yankees did beat the Red Sox last night, avenging
Yeah.
2004. 2004 has now been wiped off the charts. That can never be used against the Yankees again.
There you go. Well,
Because
congratulations.
the Red Sox suffered the greatest collapse in playoff baseball, David Shelton. Do you agree with that?
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, and as a Yankees fan, I'm pretty happy also.
You shouldn't have brought it up, Kevin. Be right back. Top of the hour. More calls.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. Another vote to fund the government has failed in the Senate, extending the shutdown.
44 Democrats voted against a Republican bill that would have temporarily restored federal funding and reopened the government. The final tally was short of the 60 votes needed to end a filibuster and pass the legislation. While there have been some bipartisan discussions, there are few signs of any real progress toward ending the congressional standoff. Meanwhile, House Speaker Mike Johnson has canceled legislative business in his chamber next week in a move aimed at forcing the Senate to work with the House-approved government funding bill. Greg Clugston, Washington.
There's a new North Carolina law following the stabbing death of a Ukrainian woman.
North Carolina's Democratic Governor Josh Stein has signed into law a criminal justice measure pushed by the Republican-controlled legislature after a young Ukrainian woman was stabbed to death on a Charlotte train. The new law bars cashless bail for certain violent crimes and limits discretion in pretrial release decisions. The bill's authors are also seeking to restart executions in North Carolina. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump has ordered Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7, 2023 attack. Hamas said today it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians, but that other aspects of the plan require further consultation. British police say one of the 2 men killed in a car and knife attack on a synagogue in the city of Manchester may have been killed by a bullet fired by a police officer. Greater Manchester Police Chief Stephen Watson said today that a forensic examination has provisionally determined that the victim had a wound consistent with a gunshot injury. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
The State Department will increase staffing at some U.S. embassies next year to accommodate an expected major jump in visa applications.
The reason? Soccer fans wanting to attend World Cup matches in the United States. The department will send hundreds of additional officers to designated countries to handle the demand for visa interviews. The number of staffers and the countries where they will have to go yet to be determined because the 48-team field for the 2026 World Cup has not been finalized. Jason Walker reporting.
Federal officials have reported the arrests of 13 people protesting near an immigration facility outside Chicago. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem met with employees inside the facility earlier today. Protesters gathering outside, upset by newly installed barricades. Some aimed to block vehicles from entering or leaving the area. The feds had to use tear gas to respond to protests. News at
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the Point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's hour number 2 of the High School Football Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. On this Friday night, we're coming to you from North Carolina, but we're talking about the games, of course, all across South Carolina. Going to catch up on all the finals we have in, get more reports in for you as well in just a moment. David Shelton along with us as well. David, before I run through the scores, comment from you on this Loris win at Dillon, 23-22. Don't know if you heard how they did it, but they had a bad snap on a punt. It set Dillon up at the 1. Their defense pushed Dillon back, and then one of their defenders actually ripped the football out of the arms of a Dillon player, returned it roughly 85 yards for what turned out to be the winning touchdown. And Loris escapes with a 1-point win there at Dillon. 2 years in a row, Loris has won in this what's becoming now one of the top rivalries in the PD.
Yeah, that's a nice win. I was kind of following that on Twitter, and it looked like Dillon was going to score there and kind of put it away. But Loris has got a little magic wand right now, and I don't see them losing. I know they got some tough games coming up, but at least until the playoff, I think they can win out.
What do you like most about him? That defense? Coach talked about his defensive front being really good.
Yeah, their defense is legit. And you heard Billy say that a lot of them are underclassmen, but they're very quick, very physical, and if you can play good defense and you got a good quarterback, you got a chance to go a long ways, and they do have a good quarterback.
Okay. Before we run through the scores, and we'll do that in just a moment, we've had a couple of folks waiting for a good while, so let me get them off the board so they can move on with their evening. Richard Sally, Orangeburg Prep, the story on that game in Skeeza action tonight, and it's Orangeburg Prep, Spartanburg Christian. Richard, what you got for us?
Well, Orangeburg Prep hosted Spartanburg Christian on homecoming against a region foe and took care of business 40-16 to get the scoring started. OP actually fumbled on their first possession at their own 35. Spartanburg Christian drove down for a touchdown, capped off by Noah Caffell's 3-yard touchdown run. He also scored on the 2-point conversion. So early on, Spartanburg Christian up 8-0. 4:03 to go in the first quarter. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on a 14-yard TD pass. Charlie Williams to Marshall Livingston on the 2-point conversion, ties it up at 8. 9:02 to go in the second quarter. T. Riley takes a pitch on an option play and takes it 93 yards for a touchdown run, 14-8, Orangeburg Prep. 4:18 to go in the second quarter. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on an 80-yard touchdown pass. No good on the extra point, 20-8. 2:30 to go in the second quarter. Jasiri Parker on a 5-yard TD run. The 2-point conversion's good, 28-8. And finally, in the first half, Charlie Williams hits Max Judy on a 20-yard touchdown pass, 34-8 at halftime. A couple scores in the second half. A minute 19 to go in the third. Chris Jackson on a 22-yard run makes it 40-8. And finally, Spartanburg Christian scores one more touchdown with 5:06 to go in the game. Cameron Bright on a 15-yard touchdown run. Noah Caffell on the 2-point conversion. Final score 40-16.
What does that mean for the region, the playoffs for OP?
OP is probably lined up to finish third in Region 2. Calhoun Academy looks like they're going to win the number 1 spot. Greenwood Christian would be 2. On the other side, those guys hadn't started playing region yet, but Bethesda looks awful strong, and then PD is probably the second best team on the other side of 2A.
Okay, Richard, great job as always. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week.
All righty. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great night. And now let's head over to Hugh Gray. Hugh Gray, and a tight one tonight for Newberry. You're going to have a great year. If you're going to run the table, time to time you're going to have to win a close, tight one. And Hugh, the Bulldogs did that tonight. Welcome in.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, they did. In fact, they started off the game with the backup quarterback behind center, Dante House, started there for Kenton Caldwell, but with the backup quarterback in, Newberry takes the opening drive, 12 plays, 65 yards for a score. Dante actually hits his brother Jamel for a 14-yard wide receiver screen. Newberry leads 7-0. Silver Bluff then takes possession, gets about the midfield, and turns the ball over, fumbles. Newberry got some momentum going after the first drive and gets into the red zone, but Ty Abrams lets the ball pop out. Live ball laying on the ground, and Zyke Williams for Silver Bluff picks it up, scoop and score for 80 yards. The PAT was no good, so it's 7-6. That second quarter was back and forth. It was almost like hot potato with the ball. Lots of turnovers tonight. I think the total was somewhere between 8 and 10 turnovers between both teams. So back and forth a lot in the second quarter. Silver Bluff scores on the final play of the half. Jesse Shelley hauls in a 5-yard pass from Trellis Riley. And for the first time this season, Newberry goes into the half trailing. It's 13-7. Again, after a lot of turnovers in the third, Trellis Riley hits Zion Dixon for a touchdown. 2-point conversion with no good, so Silver Bluff leads 19-7. Start the fourth quarter. Newberry has the ball in the red zone, and the second play of the quarter, Kenton Caldwell, who's come in now by that point for Dante House. Kenton Caldwell runs in from the 4. PAT's good. It's 19-14. Silver Bluff on the next drive gets down inside the red zone. Silver Bluff has first and goal at the 4. Bad snap. It looks like it was supposed to be a direct snap to the running back, but it gets by him. Ball rolls out past the 20. Silver Bluff ends up turning the ball over on downs. Newberry then drives 77 yards for a touchdown. Kenton Caldwell hits Jason Dunbar for a 20-yard score. They go for 2, get it. It's 22-19 with 4:46 to go in the game, but Silver Bluff not willing to give up yet. Silver Bluff drives the field after a short kickoff. They've gotten the ball at their own 48. They're down again at the 4-yard line with a 1st and goal. Another bad snap. This time Newberry recovers with 1:37 to go. And Newberry just puts it in the feet of Kitten Call to run out the clock and get that 22-19 win to go 7-0 on the season.
Man, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So just to recap, you were down going to the fourth, 19-7. You score a couple of touchdowns, last one on a 77-yard drive, a 20-yard touchdown pass, 2-point conversion, and then the other Bulldogs fumble at the 4 late, and you survive.
That's it. It caused a lot more consternation during the game than it sounded the way you said it.
I know. I bet. All right, so what does this set up in the region now looking ahead?
Well, Fox Creek next week for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs go down to Fox Creek to play, and the week after that is an open date, but the very last game of the season is Swansea, and it looks like that's going to be the two trains colliding.
Okay,
right
sir. Great job as always. Hugh, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir. Look forward to it.
Yes, sir. David Shelton, how about Newberry? Again, I mean, they're having Silver Bluff's not having a great year. Newberry is, and but they struggled tonight. Obviously, the turnovers is a great equalizer, but they found the way to win there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, they did it without the quarterback. I think I heard him say that Caldwell didn't play, so they overcame turnovers. They didn't have their star player, and Silver Bluff was a pretty darn good opponent. And I saw on Twitter where they had a 19-7 lead, and I was like, wow, that was kind of stood me back a little bit, but obviously they took over in the second half and were able to pull it out.
Well, actually, Caldwell did not start, but he came in the fourth quarter. I think he said, you know what, I'm kicking myself because I forgot to ask Hugh. Hugh, if you're listening, how about text us and tell us why. I forgot to ask him why Caldwell wasn't playing, didn't start, and why he came in late. So text us with that, 803-900-4847 if you're hearing us, 803-900-4847.
Only thing I saw on the Twitter was Caldwell was not playing, and I didn't know if he was hurt or what, but I didn't realize that he came in the fourth quarter, which, great players can pull off those comebacks, and that's exactly what happened.
Exactly right. Let's go to all right, let's hit another quick report before the break. Let's go to Taylor Novinger with Crestwood, and Crestwood tonight playing Wilson. Good ball game. Did not end up the way the Knights had hoped it would. It went the Tigers' way, 27-21 over at Crestwood tonight. Taylor, how are you, sir? What's the story?
I'm doing well, Phil. I'm going to tell you right now, this was a really good matchup, kind of underrated matchup throughout the state. Wilson came in, got the victory, but that's really not the story. Crestwood was up 14-0 to end the first quarter. Things looked like they were going to, get the win and everything. And then Wilson, they start putting a drive together in the second quarter. Tristan Howard throws to Caden Bethea in a 35-yard touchdown. And it's 14-7 with 2.2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And that's where Jordan Davis gets a sack and scoop and score for Wilson to tie it at 14 apiece at halftime. And then to start the second half, Crestwood gets the ball. They drive down the field. They complete it to Deshaun Scriven for a nice little easy 7-yard touchdown catch. They get a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct for celebrating. The field goal kicker for Crestwood has to kick like a 30-some yard kicker. Field goal, he makes it, and they're up 21-14. Then Wilson comes back down the field, and, the drives go back and forth. Crestwood's driving up 21-14, and they fumble. Jaden Boston for Wilson gets a fumble recovery, and then Wilson finally connects on a long pass play to Caden Bethea for a 50-yard touchdown pass. They go up. You're thinking it's going to be tied 21-20, but it's 21-20. And then after he gets that right there at the 20, it's 21-20. Wilson goes for 2. They don't get it. And then towards the end of the ball game, Wilson scores with under a minute remaining and gets the victory. Tough way to lose for Wilson. Kind of a confusing call in the last play of the game. One official says touchdown, one says he's short. You don't know kind of where it goes, and it just sometimes the ball rolls the right way, and it did for the Tigers.
So wait a minute. The winning score occurred on the last play of the game?
So it was about 30 seconds remaining. It was about 30 seconds remaining. It was
okay
on that last play. Yeah.
Yeah, on their last play, about 30 seconds to go?
30 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Crestwood's up 21-20, and Wilson scores.
Gotcha.
And gets the victory.
That's tough loss. Tough loss. What you got next week?
Nothing gets easier for Crestwood. They're on the road at Hartsville, and I'm going to be honest with you. Wilson is a very underrated team. They beat Dillon earlier in the year. That Tristan Howard's a solid quarterback. Just like David Shelton was saying, quarterbacks and good defense can get the victory.
No doubt. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, great win for Wilson on the road and tough loss for Crestwood at home as they fall in the final seconds to Wilson. Thank you for that, Taylor. We'll get more reports coming up. We got Justin Mathis on Dorman, Graham Simpson on Greenwood. Going to run through these scores. Also, have a special visitor coming up from the Touchstone Electric Cooperatives, and we'll be talking with Riley Morningstar from the Blue Ridge Cooperatives coming up in a few minutes as well. We'll be back after this break here on Sports Talk.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the high school scoreboard. It is not sports talk. We did that about 5 hours ago. Now, this is the high school scoreboard. Sometimes we slip into we go back in time in our heads. So, no, this is the high school football scoreboard. I think you know that. And we'll get back to reports and scores in just a moment. I want to welcome into the program a gentleman who was at the Daniel game tonight, Riley Morningstar, who was with the Blue Ridge Electric Cooperatives, of course, part of the Touchstone Electric Cooperatives, the Touchstone Electric Cooperatives Bowl coming up in December. And Riley, first of all, thanks for being with us. How are you?
Hey, Phil, I'm great. It's great to talk to you. You're such an icon in the state of South Carolina. I appreciate everything you do for our athletes in college and high school. So thank you again for having me tonight.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. Totally not necessary, but appreciated. And first of all, tell us about the game tonight with Daniel. Big win for the Lions, and what'd you see out there?
Yeah, with all respect to Berea, it was really a name your number kind of night for Daniel. After two kind of come from behind wins the past 2 weeks, they had a great game tonight, particularly for sophomore Jace Gross. After just 37 yards last week against Seneca in the rivalry win they had, he went 16 for 24 tonight, 278 yards and 3 touchdowns. So it was 50-0 at halftime, and that's just the way it went tonight for Daniel. So great win, and they're on the road next week at Travelers Rest. So they're sitting pretty well as they continue in region play.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Blue Ridge Electric Cooperative and involvement with the high schools and involvement with high school football up in your area. What is that relationship like for you guys as you serve your communities?
Yeah, it goes even beyond the high schools. You know, we got 3 players in the Touchdown Energy Bowl this year, but, you know, whether it's the schools we serve or just the community in general, we're just proud to be where we are. We have just recently raised over $85,000 between all 180 employees we have at the co-op that goes back to local nonprofits. And, you know, all-star games have changed so much in the past 10, 15 years, and especially with NIL. But just to be able to be a part of the Touchdown Energy Bowl and still provide a great chance for, you know, these high school athletes to have their own moment come December, season's over, and just kind of enjoy that experience while also the giving back experience those kids get to experience on the shopping trips with underprivileged children. It's just fantastic what that all-star game is all about.
And, of course, it doesn't hurt to have a few days at the beach. Even though you got to work in a little work as a football player, you do get to have a lot of fun along the beach.
Absolutely. You know, school is pretty much done for that first semester at that point, and a great opportunity for their family to come on down. And you know, just being in the state of South Carolina, I know we're here in the upstate, but you'd be hard pressed to find me turn down a trip to the beach, no matter the time of the year.
Tell us about Blue Ridge Electric Co-ops and the people that you serve in Anderson, Oconee, Pickens, Greenville, Spartanburg. It's kind of an old operation, right? You guys have been around about 85 years. You go back a long, long way.
Yes, sir. 85 years in this community, and I think, you know, we're just probably behind York Electric Cooperative or maybe Berkeley in terms of the fastest growing in the state. I mean, I think we've had just 1.5 million residents move into South Carolina since 2000. So with the upstate booming, we have changed, but the values that we hold have not. It's about that kind of legacy that we've established over 85 years. You know, when you call the co-op, you are going to talk to a real person. You're not going to talk to somebody maybe overseas or in a major metro somewhere else. So, you know, 85 years is quite an accomplishment, but we're just grateful to be able to serve. And I do want to add just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to say thank you to Brew Nimmons. He's with the Pickens County Courier. He is their sports editor over there, and I called him yesterday for a quick check-in about Daniel, and he just does such a fantastic job. And I know you guys really value that local media and people that are covering high school sports, and whether it's print or like the great show you guys have, Brew is just such an asset to his county.
Absolutely. I think Brew's been on this show. Eric Sprott from over there at the
yes, great guy too.
Yeah, super. Love those guys. We appreciate them very much. Last thing, I'll let you go. So far, so good. storm-wise compared to this time last year, right? You're crossing your fingers and obviously hoping for the best.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, I actually started at Blue Ridge on September 3rd, 2024. So I think it was exactly 24 days on the job before Helene hit, and never experienced anything like that before. Hopefully won't for a very long time. But, I think there was a little bit of nerves and anxiety about a week ago, but thankfully it was just some rain for our friends in the low country. So good, so far so good. And hopefully we'll just ride that on into mid-November and get to Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you for being with us. I'm sure we'll talk to you again later in the season. We appreciate what you and all the folks with the co-ops around the state do for your people, and also, of course, the contributions to the All-Star Game. Thank you so much for that, and thanks for being with us tonight.
Hey, thank you for what you guys do for our athletes in our state. Nobody else is doing anything close to this, so thank you guys, okay?
Thank you, Riley. Great talking to you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Thank you very much. Okay. Break is coming up, and we'll come back with more reports. We appreciate the guys being patient. I'm going to get to you right after the break. Give you a few more finals. Marlboro County 57, Ainer 6, Waccamaw 48, Georgetown 13, Lake City 30, Mullins 28, Andrew Jackson 41, Sherraw 17, Atlantic Collegiate 26, Marion 12, Andrews 42, Academic Magnet nothing. Carvers Bay drove very late and beat Latta 33-0. Lakeview 6-0 over Hannah-Papacote. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. Hopes for a quick end to the government shutdown are fading. Democrats have refused to budge on a Senate vote. President Trump readying plans to unleash layoffs and cuts across the federal government. On the third day of the shutdown, another Senate vote to advance a Republican bill that would reopen the government failed on a 54-44 tally. That's well short of the 60 needed to end a filibuster to pass the legislation. Meanwhile, House Speaker Mike Johnson announcing the chamber would close for legislative business next week. President Trump ordering Israel to stop bombing the Gaza Strip after Hamas said it had accepted some elements of his plan to end the nearly 2-year war and return all the remaining hostages taken in the October 7, 2023 attack. Hamas said Friday it was willing to release the hostages and hand over power to other Palestinians, but that other aspects of the plan require further consultations among Palestinians. This is SRN News.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Baseball and body slams collide at home plate. Palmetto Championship Wrestling invades Lexington County Baseball Stadium. It's the Grand Slam at the Lex. See reigning PCW heavyweight champion No Quit Jake Parker defend his title. Plus the Dawson Brothers in a tag team chaos. Friday, October 17th. Gates open 6 p.m. Bell time 7:05 p.m. Tickets on sale now at GoBlowfish.com.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh.
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Scammers, stalkers, criminals. They're looking for your personal information and finding it easier than you think. With Incogni, you can reduce your personal information exposure on the web. Your name, address, and phone number are shared on hundreds of public websites right now. Your family details, even where you live. It's all online, collected and sold by data brokers without your consent, putting you at serious risk. Someone could show up at your door, use your information to steal your identity, send scam messages to your parents, or drain your accounts in minutes. Incogni removes your personal data from hundreds of websites that expose your details, making it much harder for the wrong people to reach you. Because if they can't find you, they can't harm you. Get 1 year of Incogni Unlimited for 55% off today at Incogni.com and let Incogni remove your personal data from the web for you. That's INCOGNI.com. Take back control of your privacy and reclaim your peace of mind.
Okay, back on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. David Shelton with us. And David, the most recent scores that we got in over the last few minutes, talking to folks, what's jumped out at you so far tonight besides the games we've already broken down? Anything that we've talked about that you haven't had a chance to mention?
No, I'm still catching up on the scores, but you know, I'm certainly not here to rub it in. But what Carver's Bay did to Lada tonight is impressive, and you know, the good teams rise to the top, and the good teams are winning games now. I mean, you're not going to see a whole lot of upsets going through the rest of the region schedule. There'll be a few. Each week we'll have something that kind of we raise eyebrows at, but you know, the good teams are going to start rising to the top here in October.
Yeah, got to give credit Carver's Bay 33-0 over Lada, but then Lakeview beat Hannah Pamplico 6-0, and there's Lakeview always just hanging around, always at the end. You always have to go through Lakeview down there.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is they're not the typical Lakeview that they've been in the past. They got a lot of new guys, and you know, and Hannah Pamplico is the same way. They've got a lot of new guys and have been very competitive, but they're 1-5. But they've lost a couple of really close games, and you know, it's not surprising to me. Having followed that region, you know, and those teams over there in the PD, that this game was close. Maybe not 6-0 close, but it's not. I'm not surprised that this game was a very hard fought to the end.
All right, back to the guys waiting for reports. Appreciate the patience. Justin Mathis, the story on the Dorman game tonight. Cavaliers impressive 34-0 over Boiling Springs. They had to be happy with that. Justin, plenty of offense and obviously excellent defense.
Yes, Phil, that's correct. This is one of those games Dorman had circled from last year because it was the Bulldogs who knocked Dorman out of the 5A playoffs to open or knocked Dorman out of the 2024 playoffs last year. This is one of those games they wanted to get back in. They did just that. They outgained the Bulldogs by a total of 368 to 80 in the total offense. Dorman forced a pair of Bowling Springs punts. And on Dorman's first play from scrimmage, Meek Slidell looked right, found Tragan Mickler, and he took it 57 yards to the house on the first play from scrimmage for the Cavaliers tonight, made it 7-0. Then on Dorman's next series, Nick Means juked and jived his way through the Bulldog defense for a 13-yard touchdown, and which made it 14-0 with 4 minutes left in the opening frame. Then about midway through the second quarter, Nick Means walked in untouched for a 1-yard scamper to cap off an 8-play, 76-yard drive. The Cavaliers also picked up a pair of Ranson Farr field goals from 38 and 37 yards, respectively, to close out the first half. Ranson was the 5A Upper State Special Teams Player of the Week for the Football Coaches Association. But all in all, a great night for the Cavaliers. Isaac Tate also added a 25-yard touchdown and had a tough game last week. He was able to rush for 87 yards, the junior. Dorman's got a pair of junior running backs along with the freshman Carter Nash, who has a lot of potential. And the Cavaliers also picked off a pair of passes in the second half. Donovan Anderson had one, and then Jabez Thomas added his fourth interception in the last 3 games. So, I mean, just all in all around effort by the Cavaliers, and that's something I think they're happy with as they get ready for Farmers Week, which is the prelude to the city rivalry next Friday night at Spartanburg.
What kind of week is this, you say, coming up?
Farmers Week. It's a long-standing tradition for Dorman that leads up to the rivalry game with Spartanburg, where the kids, I believe on one day, I think it might be Thursday or Friday, some of them drive tractors here to the school. It's a fun tradition. You got to look up. Jed Blackwell actually did a story about it, I believe, last year on the Harrison's Huddle platform, and it's great. Gives great insight on the traditions from both sides. So it's going to be an exciting week next week here in Roebuck as we get ready for that rivalry game against the Vikings.
Oh man, that's
another one. Dorman. It's another game Dorman wants back.
Oh yeah. Who's hosting? Who's hosting next week?
It's Dorman at Spartanburg.
At Spartanburg. Ooh, okay. I imagine the Viking Field, Viking Stadium will be packed as well. Thank you, Justin. Have a great one, and look forward to hearing from you next week.
Yes, sir, Phil. Be blessed, brother.
You too, buddy. Thank you very much. David, I got a text message back from Hugh Gray, voice of Newberry. He said that we were wondering about Kenton Caldwell. He said Coach couldn't discuss holding Kenton Caldwell from starting the game. He did start the second half. So,
okay. There
you go. That's the reason why he was not in there at the beginning. But important for Newberry, he was in there at the end. And you want your studs in there at the end, if at all possible. Thank you, Taylor. I'm sorry, thank you, Justin Mathis. Let's go to Graham Simpson now with Greenwood High School and the Eagles. Win for them tonight as well, as we welcome Graham into the high school scoreboard, and they go to Malden and pick up a 33-10 victory. Tell us about that, Graham, and thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. 493 total yards for Greenwood, outgained Malden 493 to 211. And, you know, I harp on it every week, but Tristan Lewis, again, 293 passing yards, 2 touchdowns for him. He threw the ball 33 times, had 20 completions on that. Tristan was just on point today, and it's tough to beat Greenwood when Tristan's on his game. Trey Crawford was my player of the game, though, today. Our running back for Greenwood, touchdown, 182 yards on the ground. I tell you, Malden, they got a ton of athletes. So does Greenwood. They're going athlete for athlete out there tonight. It was a really fun game. A lot of times both teams were in the red zone and couldn't score. It was 33-10, but it could have been, you know, more points for either team either way. But Greenwood had the athletes in the end. Tristan played well. We were running the ball well. They were running with their backup quarterback. Their first stringer got injured last week at TL Hanna, so that hurt Malden's offense a ton this week. They ended up throwing 3 interceptions in the game, and that's what sealed it for the Eagles.
500 yards basically, and Tristan Lewis 293. He was picked for the Shrine Bowl, and going to get to see him play quarterback, I guess, in the Shrine Bowl. Well, what's the plan? Do you know what the plan is for him in the Shrine Bowl? I think they picked him as an athlete, right? Didn't they pick him as an athlete?
No, he was actually picked as a quarterback. So he was one of 2 quarterbacks picked, and there was an athlete picked who can play quarterback. So I think there will end up being 3 quarterbacks playing for South Carolina, and Tristan will get some reps at DB in the Shrine Bowl. That has been confirmed.
All right.
You will be pleased to know that he got a pass breakup tonight. He only took about 3 defensive snaps, but did get a PBU. So there's one for Beamer.
Okay. Who you got next week?
Well, we got Greenville at home. Should be a good one. So always look forward to the Greenwood-Greenville matchup.
That'll be a dandy. Well, thank you so much, Graham. Great job. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it. See you.
Thank you very much. Okay. David, Greenwood's been really good all season. I know they got the 1 loss in there from a couple of weeks ago, but when you got a quarterback as good as Lewis, he can light you up. They could be real trouble getting into November and running deep into November. David?
Can you hear me?
David Shelton. Yeah, go ahead. We got you now.
I can't hear you. I can hear you good when you're doing reports, but when you come to me, like you're 160 miles away.
And we just lost you. Plumber, we need to figure out what the problem is. Is it on our end or his end? I tell you what, let's go to the break. We'll get that sorted out, and we'll have David hopefully clearer and able to hear us after the break. So we go to the break, and we'll also go through all the scores. We pretty much have everything in now. Missing just a couple here or there. We're working to get those in. So go through the scores, maybe get another report in or 2, and get back with David as well. We'll be back after this break here on the High School Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Has your credit seen better days? At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. That's why we offer personal and auto loans that help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that sees more than just a number. You don't need perfect credit to start your next chapter. Visit foundersfcu.com or a local office today. Founders, helping you do life on your terms. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
right, we are back on the high school football scoreboard. Final segment on this Friday night. Phil Kornblut, David Shelton. Now David is with us once again. And we're talking about Greenwood, David, as we hit the break and how good they've been all season long. Going to be trouble, especially the way they can throw the football. They're going to be trouble going into November and maybe deep into November.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think they're one of the teams that will be contending for a state title with the quarterback. Defensively, they're probably not real good, but if you're outscoring people, the only stat that matters is the scoreboard. So, they're with Tristan Lewis, they're going to be in every game.
Did you know much about him going into the season?
No, I had not ever heard of him until he committed. Now I don't follow, recruiting like you do or other people do and rankings and all that. But when he committed to South Carolina, I was like, wow, who is that?
Yeah.
And then I found out that he was a quarterback, and I was like, well, surely he did not commit to South Carolina as a quarterback. I had to do some research. So he is what they call a very good athlete.
Also a very good baseball player. In fact, when he committed to South Carolina, he was actually heading to Atlanta to play in a summer baseball tournament with his traveling summer baseball team. So very good baseball player as well, but I think he has his sights set on playing football at South Carolina. Remains to be seen. I mean, he's going there to be a defensive back, but it remains to be seen if he might somehow get some snaps in there. Sounds like he can throw it, and he's playing against good competition in high school football in South Carolina. So we'll see what comes of that. Let's go to we have Lou Bajak on the line with us from the state newspaper covering high school football across the Midlands, so we can chat with him about his game tonight and things around the Midlands. Lou, welcome in. Where were you tonight?
Swansea and Keenan tonight.
Very good. Swansea, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're 7-0. Yeah, 7-0 for the first time since 2012. So, big start, good start. Willie Fox really got the program going and struggled a little bit, made some mistakes early, but got the win and good region opening win as they go into the bye week, 7-0. Looking to go 8-0, I think, for the first time since the early 90s.
What's made them so good so far this year?
Running game. The running game with Caldwell, Kendall Wright, Trace Selfridge. They do a lot of things. They sometimes have two guys. You got the quarterback and running back, and both have their hands out so that you don't know kind of who's getting the ball sometimes, snapping. And they're throwing a little bit more this year as well. So a little bit of that way, and their defense has been pretty strong as well. They came up with a couple big stops tonight, Keenan driving in that.
Well, impressive win for Swansea on the road tonight, 31-22. What else around the Midlands tonight? I guess I imagine that Newberry game probably caught your attention a little bit. And what else around the Midlands area?
Newberry, the way Camden was able to hang around a little bit with South Point, just couldn't. I mean, they had the pick six for a touchdown early, just too much Jazavian Currents tonight. We had Dreer. Northeast won double overtime. That was kind of a good one. Batesburg, Leesville, Strom, also overtime. I think Strom stopped Batesburg, Leesville on the 2-point conversion to beat them 28-26. So that was a good game, and not in the Midlands, but Loris beating Dillon again for 2 years in a row. It's pretty darn special.
Yeah, that Loris team has really that program has gotten very strong, and to go into Dillon and do that and beat them 2 years in a row says something about them. What are you looking at next week as you think about the top games in your area on the calendar?
Dutch Fork White Knoll, definitely the headliner. Both teams won easily in their region openers tonight, and obviously with the history, Nick Pelham, former defense coordinator for Tom Knotts, and Dutch Fork losing 2 weeks ago to Oceanside, have the bye week, and then they hang 50 on Chapin tonight, hold them to 78 yards total offense. It'll be interesting. Always fun when those two teams in the gauntlet, because then the following week you got Irmo and White Knoll, and Irmo impressive tonight also in their region opener, and they're undefeated, top-ranked team in 5A in the media poll.
Who you like, Irmo or Dutch Fork? More. Who do you like more?
I don't know. I think it's toss-up. I mean, Irmo's playing a little bit better right now, I think, but a couple weeks from now, October 31st, anything could happen. It's going to be at Irmo. It's going to be another electric atmosphere like it was last year, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. And it's been on the calendar since the schedule came out, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Okay. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate you joining us. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.
All right, you too. Okay.
Lou Bajak from the State Newspaper. Let's go through the scores now. I think we've cleared out all the phones, so let's go through our final scores, and David can comment on things here as we run through them. In the upstate, Abbeville over McCormick, 56-0. Belton Honeypath, 63. West Oak, 0. Chesney, 48. Blacksburg, 19. Woodruff, 49. Broome, 14. Dixie, 44. Calhoun Falls, 22. Palmetto, 28. Carolina, 0. Clinton, 49. Liberty, 6. Crescent, 67. Walhalla, 20. Daniel, 56. Berea, 0. Dorman, 34. Boiling Springs, 0. Greenville, 42. Easley, 16. Gaffney, 40. Eastside, 35. Fountain Inn, 26. Lawrence, 7. Greer, 60. Pickens, 14. T.L. Hanna, 32. Hillcrest, 13. Woodmont, 46. Man, 13. Greenwood, 33. Malden, 10. Mountain View Prep, 64. Union County, 14. Burns, 42. Riverside, 27. Saluda, 48. American Leadership, 0. Seneca, 47. Blue Ridge, 13. Westside, 55. Southside, 0. Powdersville, 24. Southside Christian, 0. Christ Church, 39. St. Joseph's, 34. Pendleton, 45. Travelers Rest, 20. Spartanburg, 52. Wade Hampton, 9. Ware Shoals, 42. Whitmire, 14. And Wren, 45. Emerald, 44. David, anything jump out at you from those games?
Yeah, what jumped out was I think I was trying to keep up, but I think there were 9 teams that scored over 50 points tonight in the upstate. So something's in the water, or there's no defense being played.
That is true. That is true. Big offense in the upstate tonight. In the Football City I-77 corridor, Chester 41, Eau Claire 8, Northwestern 52, Clover 24, Lee Central 32, Great Falls 22, Indian Land 34, Nation 4 26, and Rock Hill 23, Fort Mill 16. You were dubious of Clover being able to hang in there with Northwestern earlier tonight on Sports Talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I thought Clover was a bad team. I just think Northwestern offensively is a cut above most of everybody that they play. And in order to beat Northwestern, I mean, South Point did beat them, but they scored 27 points to do it. And that's what you got to do you got to score a lot of points to hang with Northwestern.
In the Midlands, AC Flora 56, Lancaster 10, Midland Valley 63, Airport 26. In overtime, Strom Thurmond 28, Batesburg Leesville 26, Blythewood 31, Lugoff Elgin 26, Gray Collegiate 56, BC nothing, Central 56, Buford 10, Louisville 67, C.A. Johnson 16, South Point 28, Camden 7, Wilson 27, Crestwood 21, double overtime, RNE 30, Dreer 26, Dutch Fork 50, Chapin nothing, Hunter Connor Tyler 76, Wagner Sally nothing, Swansea 31, Keenan 22, Irmo 35, Lexington nothing, Hartsville 55, Lower Richland 30, Newberry 22, Silver Bluff 19, Hillian 36, 96-28, Ridgeview 44, Spring Valley nothing, Sumter 35, West Florence 7, White Knoll 35, River Bluff 3. What do you think, David?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people have forgotten about Sumter. Nobody talks about Sumter, and they're really good, and they're beating everybody every week. Just pounding them. I think, it's time we start paying a little attention to them and start analyzing how good they are and, where they're going to fit into the 5A playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, their defense, looks like it's getting real again, so someone to keep an eye on for sure. All right, around the CSRA, it was North Augusta 63, Aiken nothing. Orangeburg Wilkinson 21, Fox Creek 13, Lake Marion 19, Barnwell 14. And let's see what else we've got. In the PD Grand Strand, Andrews 42, Academic Magnet nothing. Marlboro County 57, Ainer 6, Timberland 74, Burke nothing. Carolina Forest 45, Socastee 12, Andrew Jackson 41, Cheraw 17, North Central 8, Chesterfield 7, South Florence 57, Darlington 6, Loris 23, Dillon 22, Lakeview 6-0 over Hannah Pamplico, Lake City 30, Mullins 28, Lamar 52, McBee nothing, Carvers Bay 33, Latta nothing, Kingstree 37, Manning 8, Atlantic Collegiate 26, Marion 12, Conway 35, North Myrtle Beach 28. That'll do it for the high school scoreboard on this Friday night. Thank you, David, and thank you, Plummer. Have a great night, everybody.